Um, so the other issue that would often happen is the chances of you becoming. So let's play this scenario out till the end of what they're recommending you to do, right? But you need to be able to anticipate the future to be able to make the correct decisions, even though your mentors are giving you advice. But we have like Ethan has ran, he was working with Nestle and Amazon. Like he was in the back end as one
Yep.
of the head marketers. And we have people in the team who have marketed for Starbucks, McDonald's as their chief marketers. And like I and us, we have worked with lots of big brands in Australia and seen lots of startups. So the suggestions and everything I'm telling you is stuff that is probably going to save you a lot of time and effort and all of those things. Because not everyone can become the next Coca-Cola or get that level of sales. So let's do the maths here. If you were making $5 per product, how many would you need to sell for it to be profitable?
If I was making $5 on each bottle,
Yeah, in net
uh,
profit.
in net profit after all expenses,
Yes.
how much would I what, sorry?
How much would you need to sell to achieve your financial freedom goal?
Um, Financially, my get the calculator. Say 3,000 a month. And I wouldn't say that's financial freedom. I would just say that's a baseline of like
Exactly.
an income.
And
And that
if you
was
really
that
wanted to grow the company, you would have to scale it more strongly than that and build a bigger brand, which will require investment. It would
and
also
that
require
well that's
competing.
my plan there. So that's 2 liters. So I have a plan to get 4 different sizes and 10 different colors. So I'd have a 40 product line range of that one product through that brand. So uh, I'd have a liter, a 1.25, a 1.5, and a 2 liter, and then I'd
Sure.
have 10 different
And
colors.
you're selling the exact same thing, and you're going to spend a lot of money upfront to
It
acquire
would just
those.
scale. It would just be over time, scaled over time. So
Yes.
while
And
that
do you
would
want to wait for that over time?
absolutely not.
Because exactly. Because this might not happen in the next, like, do you want to spend the next 3 years of your life selling bottles in this model? Um, well, because the issue is the vehicle. You can still make a lot of money off bottles, but you'd have to add variation to the product offering. Like instead of, and just change the brand entirely. So make the bottle one of the key components of an overarching brand that is profitable. So that's more like Skims or one of these products, right? Where they come up with this like innovative hoodie that can turn into a sweatband and can turn into a hoodie and like become whatever you want. And but they also have other like products for different levels of the market that is coming to them. And if your audience is fitness oriented people, then you add other fitness oriented stuff, or you partner with affiliates where you give them coupons to use other stuff and they give you a share of it, or you do a bunch of these things, which or you just sell the company later on to somebody else, and that's how you monetize it. Because if you're able to, like you said, you get to 3,000 sales a month or a day, whatever your goal is, um, then they will still see the same thing. That's the issue. So the new company that's trying to buy the product, he will say the profit margin is $1 per or $5. You'd be like, so in reality, I only make $5,000 after selling all of this stock. Do I want to, so the value of the business, if I make it 10 times, that would be like 50,000. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, let's make it annual. So if at the end of the year, your profits after all the expenses paid, and you have a, but the other issue they would look at is you don't have recurring clients. Still, if at the end of the year you're making, let's say, 100 grand from the business, that means your business would be worth $1 million technically if somebody was to buy it off your hands, right? Um, but they would still crush you to pieces when investors come to and they would analyze the shit out of it. But
Yeah.
besides that, the things that you should probably consider doing right now would be so it's the bot that's the issue. That's what I think. So the same principles, the same everything that they're telling is relevant. It might not apply to the same product.
Okay.
And you're not somebody who lives and breathes bottles. So it's not like you wake up in the morning and you're like, I wonder how I can make the bottle better. Or I wonder how I can, provide more value to my customers. So it's not that sort of innovative thing, which if you were to look at most successful companies like Apple or whoever who introduced these mainstream products, they had a founder behind them who literally lived and breathed that product. And if your goal is simply revenue, you need to accept yourself for that. Because if the goal is to make money, then you can do lots of shit to make money. Your current FBA model can just be repurposed for other stuff as well. But here's the thing, do you want to repurpose it for other stuff? Do you think it's worth it? Or would you rather simply um be s- just try something that is more high margin and less volume based? You're a builder at the moment, right?
I am, yeah, and
So what got you to
I,
move from making $10,000 per client for a 1 to 2 hour of work to selling 33,000 bottles, which takes a lot more effort and makes you like 500 bucks? Oh no, you spend 500 bucks right now. So what's the reason behind that?
what's the reason behind? Can you say that again? Sorry.
So why, instead of focusing more on the business that is already working and automating it, or perhaps bring somebody else in it, or perhaps coaching people for it, or doing 100 different things with it, you're starting something completely different that you have no idea about.
I'll tell you why there is. Because as a builder, if I go and build a house for a client, I have to guarantee the job for 10 years. So there's insurance that there's structural insurance that I have to upkeep for 10 years. So I'm locked into that. That doesn't leave once the sale's finished. It's a guaranteed thing for 10 years. It sits in the background that if things come up, I have to pay for. There's that. There's also the outlay costs. So for me to make anywhere from 10 to 15 to 18% on a job, depending on the size of it and what it is, I have to outlay. I'll give you rough numbers. The last one I did was about 1.6 for the build. So I have to go through $1.6 million of money to make about $200,000 off it.
Hmm.
The profit margin's
Sounds
jack shit.
difficult, doesn't it?
It's
Now,
ridiculous.
does everybody else in your
Absolutely.
industry have the same problem?
Yeah. Yep. And that's why I want to
Would
get out
they
of
be
it.
willing to pay you to teach them the solutions for it?
Unless you're a developer, that's the building game. That's how it is. That's how everyone works. It's all smoke and
Why
mirrors.
not become a coach for builders?
Because again, that's just a one-time thing. All I'm doing is bringing one builder in at a time, and getting to the next builder.
No, I mean you coach other builders ongoing. Because honestly, it would take less effort. I'm not making this up.
Yeah,
Compared to
now
what you're doing right
I'm
now.
hearing what you're saying. Um,
Just think about it, but it doesn't require much. You still run the same ads. You still get the same clients. And the fulfillment is similar because it's your area of expertise. So you don't have all this uncertainty. You can still keep doing FBA. I'm not
yeah,
asking you to stop doing what you're doing right now. But at the same time, diversify the portfolio and doing a model which, first of all, the builder coaching method can be scaled a lot and it has recurring clients because they would want to keep coming back to you. They can spend more money because the audience is rich, kind of. Like they're not high school students. And it's something that can later also be used to affiliate and partner with other people who would want the same audience. Like they would want builders, like videographers, or like these people who provide services to those builders. And you build an affiliate and referral network with that, with partnerships and stuff, and you're able to monetize it. So, like, simply the scalability and the growth of the business, if you're applying the same principle where you're building the audience by providing a lot of value upfront, you could do that for anything. And then you can, but you might as well do it for something that has a much higher return on investment and much longer lifetime. And if you're going to put in the effort anyways, because you're doing that right now, like you're selling products, you're doing all of this stuff. So you might as well also do it for something which is a lot easier.
you mean easier because I have the knowledge in the area already?
Yeah. Have you heard of the Dunning-Kruger effect? It's basically the saying that we think we know a lot until you actually start doing it, and then you realize, oh, this area has like 100 different problems. So then
Yes.
you don't talk about it or you don't share the problem because you feel like you're not good enough yet. But the thing
Yeah.
is, there are idiots at the peak who still think that, oh, building, I'll make millions the moment I walk through the door. And like there'll be money flying across credit cards, uh, high net worth clients and all this stuff, right? And they're probably teaching people out there as well. I'm sure there are building coaches who know less than you and are giving free advice about making whatever 10 million a year, a month from their business or whatever. But the thing is, you feel like because you know the actual industry, you're not sharing it. Thing is, people will want you to pay for the mistakes that you have made and learn the lessons that you have learned because that would provide them a lot more value, logically speaking. If I was a new builder and if I because you've been in the industry, you know the loopholes, you know who to go for, and you know why to go for that person and why not, and why to do it that way. Because if you do this the other way, you end up making a lot of mistakes, right? And all the problems you mentioned earlier seem like there's a lot of pain, which is why I asked, oh, so there are other people as well who must have that pain.
Yes. Yeah.
And they would be more than happy, financially speaking, to pay you to take that pain off them. So it's just like, and also it's, you don't have to learn it. You already know it. In
Yeah.
FBA, you might have a long journey ahead where you will look at all of these, so like, oh, I need to hire staff now, or the shipping is an issue. Or there might be a stage where Amazon tanks your rankings or something, or issues like that arise, which is where you will have the same thinking you have as being a builder right now. Be like, oh, FBA, all of this, like crazy stuff going on. But that's just part of the business. And
Yeah.
because that's a skill deficiency. So until you get to the point where you're so good that you can make money in that model, which is that curve that you go back to the top, what most people do is they see the problems, they change the ship, and then they repeat the same cycle where they start at high, they go to the low, then they change again instead of going back to the top. Um, but besides that, that's like not important. You don't need to go to the top. There is value in the mistakes as well. Value that people would pay money for because logically, uh, you provide them more value than a glass bottle,
I'm hearing you. I'm hearing what you're saying. Yes,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's easier to attract that audience as well. So you can, if I were to run an ad saying, if you're a builder in the following neighborhood, and you're like the fact that you have to make these 10-year guarantees with all of these like sales issues and spending all of this money is driving you crazy. I've spent the last 5 years in the industry, and here are the few things that I'm providing for free that like their video trainings and resources or whatever that you can get instant access to, which would help you solve that problem. And that training is there's a Zoom meeting we're doing right now, whatever. You can have someone interview you, ask you the painful questions, the things nobody talks about. Um, like talk about like how the kind of people try to backhand you or the scams to avoid and all of that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
if you saw something along those lines, you'd probably click on it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that audience, you provided them value up front instead of $1 margin. So the same thing you were doing earlier on, which was basically selling your bottle for cheaper, which provides them more value to bring the people in. You're bringing the builders in using the same initial principle behind the action, except it actually works here because
Yeah.
these builders um, would want to work with you ongoing because of the value that you're providing and because of what they're seeing from it. And also, you can grow in this space. Like it's easier for you to learn and develop and come up with solutions and understand different problems and build a business which has a lot more stuff in it as opposed to just a general product, which is why like people make so much money in the coaching space, right? It's because like what do other people like, especially when it comes to helping people make more money? Because everyone wants, like, that's why you sign up for FBA, even though you don't even want FBA. Like, you just picked FBA because it helps you achieve financial freedom. So be like, but crypto achieve financial freedom. YouTube videos, like OnlyFans gets you financial freedom as well. Like, I could make a very strong case on why you should be an OnlyFans creator. If you keep doing it for 2 years, you will achieve financial freedom. Plus, you get to hang out with all these, maybe you're married still.
Yeah.
You can take financial
Okay.
freedom in anything, right? So how do you pick the niche that you want to go to, as opposed to something, it's like because it comes naturally to you and you have already paid the price. that other people out there haven't paid yet. So you know the ins and outs of the industry, and that requires a lot of time. And that's something that can't be duplicated or replicated. Like there could be another person who comes up and steals that FBA bottle off your hands and might follow the same process and make more money or something along those lines. Nobody else can come in and steal the building coaching model.
Mm.
If somebody is buying that off your hands, they would see that. They'd be like, he has a steady source of clients that are recurring. You might partner up with other coaches who can come in and do it on your behalf. And then you just exit the business. You might literally introduce the builder launch model. So be like how to like all the initial things that you need, that you can literally license the best practices and everything we use to attract the homeowners, to what the contracts and all the like we you can literally just create something and just offer that to people upfront, so you just take the hard work off them. And that's like, so what you would know, and with case studies and walkthroughs and like actually showcasing them the behind the scenes of building a house and all that stuff. And so they imagine and they can just take it. And it is super easy. It's super valuable. And if you build a product that is valuable, logically you will get people buying for it, or paying money for it. That's the value equation. Where a water bottle might not have the same value, this thing might have infinitely more value. A water bottle cannot be replicated. This thing can, sorry, a water bottle can be. This thing can't be. And just starting capital isn't a lot.
Yeah,
It's nothing. It's just
that's
time.
that's some great advice, Ernest. I appreciate it. I think you got me thinking because um I'm into bodybuilding and I've been bodybuilding for 14 years. So I
Nice.
I think if I was to do that model, I would probably want to do it on that because I think,
The issue is bodybuilding is super competitive. Every market is different. So
well,
there,
yeah, I wouldn't
yeah,
target bodybuilding itself. I would target like
fitness.
fitness.
Yeah, same thing. Fitness is competitive. So, but you can still, so the same principles I mentioned earlier apply for fitness as well. But for fitness, you want the average person to be worth more to you. The first question which I asked, because there are people out there who are spending 40, 50, 60, $70 to sell the same client. They can spend that money to acquire the client because they know that in the lifelong run, the client is worth like 3,000, 4,000 bucks to them on average. They sign up for a longer transformation program. They buy supplements, which they get a commission from. They um, might um, upsell into a more longer transformation. They have regular cadences, check-ins, all that process to ensure the person doesn't run away. They have the accountability, all of those things. So like the main model is offers, marketing, sales, and affiliates, which is basically what I was didn't get to earlier, but this was a second thing, right? And the principles I applied, longevity, all of that applies here too. How long does a customer stay? If they're staying for 4 months, you get them to stay for 8 months. You do that by regular checkups, by sending them gifts, by reminding them regularly, hey, I'm missing you. If they're like, because you see them coming for 5 days, then 3 days, then one day. And then at 3 day point, if you are able to call them and get them to come back for 5 days, this solves the problem, right? And if they're trying to quit, you add it in the agreement that offboarding meeting is required. So you might be charged an extra 150 bucks if you leave without having a if you leave without having a meeting with the trainer before you cancel, and you just get like 40% people to not cancel because you just talk to them and walk them through their problems. If they really have an issue, like they got a health injury or whatever, then you just let them go. But the other thing is sales. So like how good are you at selling them a higher package? The thing is over here, you're reliant on Amazon to sell. In the
Yeah.
fitness space, you're the one who's making the sales. So objection handling, all of those areas where you're like, if I sold someone, like and the same thing, offer might apply where I might do like a 2 weeks or 4 weeks transformation program for executives who are, or for doctors, or for health professionals, nurses who are tired and don't have time to prioritize, or whatever I make up with, right? Like make it specific, I make it targeted to the audience, and then I provide them tons of value. We would do a stress check, we would do a wellness check, you would get a meal plan done. All of this for free, by the way, not paid. But the thing is, once they come in for free, then you are able to talk to them and you identify what their goals are. And they're like, oh, I'm just like, I've noticed the fact that my health is deteriorating is having all of this issue with my day-to-day life and my relationships, and I really want to fix it. Um, and then you just identify the pain points, the impact, and then you sell them into the solution. And then you like to achieve that. You won't get the same result by going to Anytime Fitness. You won't get the same result by a regular gym membership. And you've probably tried that in the past and it hasn't worked for you. So if you want this to fix this for once and for all, this is the program that you need. Is that fair enough? And that might be priced at $1,000. And you may be like, you can pay 50% upfront or whatever. So if you're charging like 500 bucks or 1,000 or whatever you're charging upfront, you can reinvest that back in marketing. And the thing is, everybody else who was like, nah, I just want the challenge. Well, you do a nutrition assessment with them, and in that you sell them supplements. So you can like monetize the person in a lot of ways. But this is where the business model is important, the way you have structured it, and not just selling personal training.
Makes sense.
Because issue isn't the fact that you're doing personal training. Issue is you're not doing personal training the right way, which is where most fitness owners either go broke or are stressed out, or gym owners don't make money, or everybody in the space has those issues, right? But like if you're able to squeeze out every single penny, I know this sounds bad, but at the same time you're providing them fitness, you're changing their life as long as what you're doing is ethical, and health is more important than the $12 Anytime Fitness offers for a weekly basis. Uh, it improves all areas of their life, so it's definitely worth it. And they need it genuinely anyways. Like they need accountability, they need regular checkups. They might need access to your phone number for weekly calls or something along those lines, because that would ensure that they get results. And that's another thing you can consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So why haven't you done that?
I've considered it for a while, but I just thought that was something I loved doing and didn't want to turn it into a job.
Why wouldn't you want to turn something you love doing into a job?
Because I
Because
was,
you're afraid that you
yeah,
would start hating it.
yeah, yeah,
And why
exactly.
would you start hating it? Because you think you might not be good at teaching others, or the work might feel painful.
I think because I'd lose focus on my journey of my fitness, my health, and my sort of stuff, I'd be more focused. And don't get me wrong, because I actually do. I love helping people and
Hmm.
teaching people and that sort of thing. So there is that side to haven't really considered. It's more just the fact that I would lose focus with myself. Obviously, it's
Losing, so you would lose focus, right? Can we fix that issue? Like if you were to get a mindset coach for yourself or something along those lines, or get support along the way, would you be able to heal the focus issue? Most likely, yes.
yeah.
Are there people in the past who have loved coaching and also loved bodybuilding and started really successful businesses around it as well? Probably yes. Can we learn from them? Maybe. But also more importantly, so you're prioritizing the love of what so let's think about it this way, right? Right now you're doing FBA. You're losing focus anyways. You're like doing all of this other stuff, which is you're already paying the pain, the price. So why not just do it for something that you would actually explore and learn? And here's the thing, growth pains, right? That happen when you're like tearing a muscle down and breaking and like building it up and all that stuff. The same thing applies to business as well. So the stage you're in right now is growth pains, basically in FBA as well, where you're like you don't know enough, so you're going through the stress where you have to put yourself in situations and pressure and either develop those skills or stop going to the gym. Um, so like two of those things are going to happen. You'll keep feeling the pain until the muscle builds up to the point where you can then bench press the 40 kg that you wanted comfortably, or you'll keep feeling the pain when you're trying to do it. Same thing will happen when you try to run your coaching business as well, or business for the fitness. In the beginning, you might not know marketing, sales, all of that stuff, because you have to run a business like a business, not like a hobby, right? But at the same time, it's something that would still be a lot easier and comfortable to you, because like in life there are not a lot of things you can do. Like you have finite amount of willpower, so you want to do things that you can naturally do without it requiring any effort from your part. So like if somebody were to come up to you and ask you about what diet should I take, you would just answer them. Like it doesn't require you to do a diploma in food. Or what if I were to ask that to my housemate who is a plumber, like, what should I eat? To him, he would probably give me some really shitty advice. I would drink beer all day. Uh, but so it's like it's easy for you, right? You're
Yeah.
already at level like 9, and you might have to get to level 12 to make the business successful. Um, and the level 9 to 3 might be painful, but right now you're trying to get from level 1 to level 50 in the current business.
Yeah.
And that's probably more challenging. So it's like we all of us have skills, all of us have experiences and value that we can provide to others. And it's like, how did you find out about us anyways? Was it a adapt or die?
So I've been to a few events and heard Ethan speak, and just basic. I follow Ethan on Instagram as well, but basically, I was just thinking the other day, how can I get more sales in quicker? And
Yeah.
then
So you
Ethan,
think you have issues? Look at Ethan.
what do you
Ethan
mean?
has social anxiety. He, yeah, I've worked close with him. So he's not like, he was worse off than you 4 years ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Like marketing wasn't so Ethan did something he didn't enjoy to be on. Like you're, so, but it got him the outcome he wanted.
yeah,
So he has the relationships and the
yeah,
friends and the chance to work with his ideals. And for that, if he had to learn marketing and this, all of this stuff and run these events, which wasn't comfortable, it is all bad shit happens. But like, in life, you are always going to have regrets, as they say.
yeah,
So either you can have the regret of um like keeping your hobby and enjoying the focus of it, or you can have the regret of perhaps messing that up a bit and going through the journey of rediscovering it, but also getting to a point where you achieve the financial freedom and are able to build the connections and interact with the people and do something that might open up a lot of doors. And at the end of the day, you want to pick the regret you can live with. And if you can and if you can live with the fact that maybe I don't enjoy bodybuilding as much as I used to, which most likely won't be the case, you'll rediscover your love for it. But you now have all of these people that you've inspired, and all of these people who saw that you've inspired, and then they reach out to you, and all of these other things you were able to accomplish because of that. And if you were to pick not having all of that, that's a regret that's much worse than the regret that you might be like, let's do FBA because I don't want to do something that, yeah. Like it's about the people as well, right? Like if your mentor is telling you FBA works, you just believe them. But your mentor is not actually taking the actions on your behalf. So you also have to account for your own weaknesses and strengths in the process.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
yeah.
if
Great
your
point.
strength is not doing what you're doing right now, which I can tell, because otherwise you'd be like throwing numbers at me left and right, and you'd know the ins and outs of the product and all of those things. Um, then instead of spending the next 2, 3 years selling bottles, because it would take anything 2, 3 years for the financial freedom goal that you're trying to target. Instant success doesn't happen. Like same with bodybuilding, right? Like it takes you 3 years to build the level of muscle. Like right now, you're a skinny kid who's trying to perhaps become like the pro athlete, and you might have to spend 5 years. So even if the bottles business, you're gonna have to spend that time no matter what you do, anyways. So you might
Yeah,
as well spend that time doing something where maybe you're not skinny, you're slightly better, you have some muscle on your bones, and you know what is required. And so it's easier and you also enjoy it. So like you're not um like I'm not teaching art classes to someone who likes to code, right? Um,
yeah, makes sense. I get it. I get what you're saying. Yeah,
and it's not that difficult to start. Like you just need to run ads. Like there are lots of videos. You can figure it out in a day.
yeah,
Create an irresistible offer that people would want. I can guarantee right now that if you just start, like if you do something that nobody else is doing, like, okay, so here's the scalability of value. In the beginning, just like right now, uh, you're selling products at a loss to acquire the client. You can offer something at a loss here as well. The difference is you'd be able to attract a lot more and just they're actual people that you can touch. Won't recommend touching them, but you get the point. And so if you were to offer like a crazy thing, like meal plan included, all of these things included, all for free, because I'm just starting out and I want to transform your life, Plus, we would also like, I don't know, like I donate to charity for a tax offset for every member I get. I just made that up. Could be anything. But if you create something really irresistible, that if someone who's trying to lose weight, who fits the avatar that you're trying to market, would want, and just like really, because at the end of the day, offers, marketing, all of this is just communication, but communicating the right thing properly, right? And making something compelling enough for somebody to be interested. So it'd be like, I'd literally call you in the morning if you don't go to the gym. So we have that feature included, and that's for free for the period of these 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Um, the thing is, if someone stays with you for 2 weeks, they would buy the paid product anyways. But if you literally try something like that, you can fill out your entire capacity in a few days. You might just do it by asking your friends. You'll be like, "Do you know someone? I'm starting this next project." And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know this fat kid who is not like who stays on the couch the whole day." They'll be like, "Perfect. I have my first specimen to work on." But still, the thing is, a well couch kid might not want fitness. If they do, then they would show up. This is where you can qualify them and make things better. But in the beginning, to start off with, it's not that difficult. Like anybody can, all the gyms or these like that are trying to get to capacity usually is like because they're not willing to, they're losing money when they think they will lose money. So the thought of losing money gets them to lose more money than what actually they might be losing if they just made a better offer. Same goes for a lot of personal trainers where they're like, "Oh, I don't want to offer all of this." Like, you don't have anyone right now. So why not? Might as well get a few clients. Some of them might end up spending $3,000, $4,000 with you. Or because you're providing so much value, you'll get the testimonials and everything else that you can later use. Like if you were gonna spend the next 2, 3 months building this anyways, you would run an irresistible offer, but then once they come through the door, you'd talk to them and you'd be like, okay, so 2 weeks isn't enough time for you to get the goal you want. So in this case, let's try this other strategy, which has everything that you need. And I can like and you can sell the amount of value it has, and this will get you. And if it's worth it, you just sell them. Like you just be good at sales. Like you're a builder, right? You guys hard negotiate the hell out of people. So just don't let them leave until they buy. Apply the same strategy here. You'll be like, I can't discount it. You know, it's not worth the value that you would be getting from it. And if you didn't pay enough money for it, you wouldn't show up. And I
Yeah.
can't have that. So, whatever you end up doing, but then you sell them on a long-term package. And once you start getting enough clients, you bring somebody else in to help you out with the business. Perhaps you start expanding with hybrid models or whatever. And yeah, that works. Like we have marketed a lot of people in the fitness space. So what I just told you is what actually works. Like you could do this yourself. Any other
That's awesome,
questions?
Joe. Thank you. So hypothetically, if I was to go down that route, do you guys have a blueprint for that into getting started, or do you just purely focus on marketing and that side of the things?
Because we market, usually what happens is the main reason marketing fails is because people have business problem, not marketing problem, right?
Yep.
Like if I were to try to market your bottle, yes, we might be able to do it, but the chances of it not being as successful as opposed to us marketing one of these other options, because the business model doesn't give you enough margin of safety to make mistakes.
Makes
Like
sense.
if you go wrong, so usually, which is the reason why we have seen so many people fail and have seen these mistakes and
Yep.
know enough about business because we run business ourselves. So I don't call ourselves a marketing agency. We are more like just a weird mixture of business strategy, but more like the strategy of getting people in and selling them, like the client acquisition part,
Yep.
marketing plus sales, as opposed to just the other thing. But quite often, the biggest decisions may get you the most results, not the teeny tiny things where like changing the price or it might work, but not as much. Whereas if you just started this new thing that I just told you about, it will have massive impact because it's like different and you have the flexibility to try it out and do a lot of it. And if you want golden handcuffs, so like you can't escape, just like in coaching. So that's where like you might either sign up with us if you don't trust yourself, that you'd actually end up pulling it till the end, or you can get somebody else to help you out with that. You create scenarios where you don't have a choice but to make it work. So like right now in FBA, you have your mentor, right? Like the guy would be pissed if you stop selling.
He would, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing applies everywhere. Same thing with personal training. Like if you hire a personal trainer, like he would be pissed if you stop working out.
Yeah.
So you could do the same thing for yourself. And the thing is, it's just that the amount of investment that you apply is different, but it's proportional to the return you're trying to get. And that's where most of the difference happens, where most people try to play it safe, and they and safe zone is where you make most of the mistakes because you're actually not safe by being safe.
Yeah, makes
Like
sense.
I can't watch home workout videos and get six packs, even if I could. The chances that I would do it are not very high because I don't have the willpower. But anyways, yeah. If you want, like, so you have seen Ethan speak before, right? Usually he sells a 3-day workshop.
Yeah, yeah,
We have done for you marketing packages, but those are expensive. They start at $3,000 to $5,000 a month. If you want to start out and you literally want to implement all of this, like you could sign up for one of the workshops, but instead of whatever he like usually sells it for 5,000 at events, right? If you have attended events, that's probably the price point you saw.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Yeah.
was.
So
Yeah,
I can like offer it to you like the discount of 3,000,
yeah.
taking all of it away so you can just do it. Which city are you based in?
Melbourne.
Okay. Well, in that case, maybe the workshop might not be the right fit. Depends. Melbourne will be like 3 months later. You still
Okay.
get all the digital recordings and everything else, but depends if you wanna like if you want something instant, and I prefer you do something instant. Um, I would recommend something else. But still, yeah. Like if this feels like something that would get you the results you're after, um, quickly and applicable to your case because it's not just your skill set. Which is why also why your coach or mentor is one of the factors why you've been able to survive so far. Um,
Yeah, absolutely.
where like he's bringing in his skills to the game, and if you were just to do it on your own, it might not be as efficient. So same thing would apply here as well. But it's just that like our expertise is a lot more broader across multiple industries because we have done it across multiple industries and seen how it works in the back ends. Like with David Goggins, like 20% of the public was fitness people. So there
Yep.
were a fair bit of fitness people showing up. But you see, at the end of the day, it's like people are coming to the seminars, they know what they need to do. Like Goggins said that he was like, every year they come to the same seminar, they watch the same pep talk, they go home, nothing happens. Whereas like he pushes himself every morning to do the thing that's most painful. He's like he hated running and his legs are broken and he doesn't have a meniscus. He's still running despite all of that because it just increases your capacity to work and get things done. And thus kind of unfortunately the requirement. Like no pain, no gain, right?
Yeah, yeah. I'm hearing it.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me very. It sounds to me like if I was to work with you guys or go do the workshop, I probably need to get a business model in place around that,
No,
and then
we
it comes.
build the business model during the workshop. That's the thing. So everything I mentioned earlier, like let's say you were to start the coaching package or do the personal training side or whatever side, that all of this that I just mentioned right now, like day one, you craft the offer, the headlines, the copies, all of that stuff. Day two, you build the funnels. Day three, you go live with the ads. So you go live with the whole business in 3 days, plus we teach you the selling part, plus we teach you all the other parts and the models and the frameworks and all of those things. The workshop is more like um, a lot better than us doing it all for you because during the workshops, like if you want to travel to Perth or Brisbane, um, for 3 days, the next workshops are Perth is like in 2 days, Brisbane is on Valentine's Day, 13 or 12 to 14, entirely up to you.
Well, I would actually consider that. Can you can you email me some stuff through various? I mean,
Yeah, sure.
it's only an hour flight to like I'd probably go to Brisbane if I was going to go.
Yep.
Um,
And yeah, then you won't have any chances of escaping.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. And I love being in person with like even being around Ethan's good energy. Like
Plus, most of the audience is the Goggins audience, anyways, and there are a fair bit of perhaps other successful personal trainers or people in the fitness space who are now stuck at their next stage. Because there's always a constraint of the business, right? Like, if you go from 100,000 to 1 million, now you need to get to 10 million and you don't know how to get to 10 million. And you need to learn things and do things that help you get to that level. And then at 10 million, it might be you need something new for 20. You might need hiring, you might need new systems. You get all of these. So the growth pains always keep happening as long as you become Mr. Olympia.
Yeah,
And some people don't want that. Some people just want to, look attractive for the beach. And that's fine. But the financial freedom and everything that you're after, having the goal of becoming Mr. Olympia is good because then you would at least have the beach body, um, even if you fail, because you fail over other people's successes. Uh, yeah. Any other
yeah,
questions?
yeah. Makes sense, mate. That's awesome. Thanks a bunch for going over time with me as well. I appreciate
No
that.
worries. Are like it's a late call anyways, right? And sometimes I do get to impact people through this too. So it's kind of fun to see, although nothing much has happened so far. Most people are lazy, like they just listen to it, they get happy, then I'll follow up with them like 1 month later, be like, so did you launch something? I'd be like, nah, life happened. Um, so you might start something right after this call if you want. It's not like you have anything better to do for the rest of the day. If the freedom and the goals you have are really that important to you, or the pain is that strong enough that you don't want to keep doing what you are doing right now, then do the biggest thing that you've been trying to hold yourself back on from doing. So apply this idea, like take the shot. What's the worst that's going to happen? Nothing.
Yeah,
You have
and I
nothing to
definitely will.
lose.
So
You literally
yeah,
have nothing to lose. Besides
yeah.
some perceived mental barriers that I might feel discomfort or get embarrassed or whatever, which is nothing wrong with
I
that.
can't see me losing anything in this, honestly. Whereas, like, even if I came and did a 3 day workshop, I would learn so much that I could apply somewhere else anyway. So I don't. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely not that for me. It's just it's making a decision of what to choose. I would say it
Why
would be
not do
around.
both? Like the principles are the same. If you want to work so much, then it simultaneously apply it for both the products and the principles and all of that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes
Although
sense.
some people can't do that, it's like I've done three, four, five simultaneously. Oh no, I do multiple simultaneously because I'm the one who's giving them advice and suggestions on what
Yeah,
to make. So yeah, so you
yeah,
can definitely do all of it. There's no scarcity.
yeah. Cool. All right.
Perfect.
Um,
I'll send you the link so you can review it. This should have all the details. If you decided, you can just let me know. Otherwise, no issue. And do you have any other feelings, any other questions, anything else you want to ask me before I
uh,
leave?
that's it for now, Varys. Thanks a bunch, mate. I appreciate.
Thank you for your time as well. See you in the next call. Have a great day.
Sounds good. You too. See you, mate.
Bye.